You're lying by the pool with your phone face down on the sun lounger, but it buzzes anyway because a proposal needs your sign off or a client comes back with something urgent, something that only you can price or do properly. So you pick it up. And right there on the week that was meant to be yours, the week where you're with your loved ones, relaxing, you've proven the one thing holding your cybersecurity business at its ceiling, that it can't move without you. Now, there's something that comes up again and again with technical expertise led founders. And I think it hits cybersecurity especially hard. You build something genuinely good. You have incredibly strong technical reputation. You've got loyal clients. You've got referrals that have been keeping you busy for years. And then growth flattens out and you can't figure out why, because you're working harder than you ever have. So let me tell you what's actually going on, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. If you're somewhere between 100K and a million in your business in terms of turnover, this is the exact point where being the best person in the business is the very thing that caps your growth. You see, beyond this size, growth comes from how much can happen without you being involved at all. The more the business leans on you personally, the harder real growth gets. And if very little happens without you, then every new client and every bigger project makes the problem worse because it all still lands with you. And there's a commercial version of this too. Like, there may come a day where you want to sell or step back or just take a proper break. And a buyer or your team is going to ask the question, like, what is the business worth without you at the center of it? And for a lot of founders, the answer is not a fucking lot, because it's basically me. And that's the number that this video is about. And here is the irony that catches incredible founders off guard. You became the frickin' bottleneck by doing everything right. You were the best technical person, so you took those difficult calls. You cared about quality, so you checked all of the work before it went out. You knew the clients personally, so you personally managed the relationships. And every one of those was the correct decision at that time. And over years, all of that stacked up is what allowed you to build an incredible business that genuinely can't function without you in the middle of it. So you see, this is a design problem, plain and simple. The business got built around you, one sensible decision at a time, and you did that by being super at your job. What gets built can get rebuilt, which is a polite way of saying you're very good at your job, and that's exactly what got you stuck. Cheers for that. There's a bit of brain science worth knowing here. The World Health Organization classes burnout as an occupational phenomenon. And it comes from work that's structured in a way that a person can actually keep managing. So when you're the live switchboard for sales, marketing, delivery, and all of the business decisions, your brain is holding dozens of open loops at once. And the quality of your decisions then suffers while you're carrying all of them. So if you feel like your brain is fried, that's a signal about your system. And the good news is systems can be rebuilt. So think about it like this. When SpaceX went public, it became the largest IPO in history. It raised around $75 billion, and the company was valued at close to 1.77 trillion. Now, I'll be straight with you. Musk still controls that company tightly, so I'm not pretending it's some founderless machine, but the market priced what the business does at scale, the launches and the satellite network running every day, whether or not he's personally hands-on. And that's the bit I want you to learn from and borrow or model, whatever language you want to use. The value lived in how the business was built. And you can ask the same question at your size, irrespective of whether you haven't even hit 100K or a million yet. And the same logic applies. Like, what could your consultancy do next week if you were completely out of it? And for most founders, that question stings a little, which is good, because that sting is the starting line, maybe the kick in the pants that you need to get started. So here's how you find where you're stuck, and it takes less than 30 seconds. I call it the switchboard. Picture an old telephone switchboard, the kind where every single call had to be plugged in by one operator. In your business, that operator is you, and there are so many different lines running through it, but three in particular that I want you to pay attention to. Line one is winning the work. Who can market, sell, scope, price, and close a piece of work without you being involved in every element of it. Line two is doing the work. What gets done or signed off only when you do it or check it. And line 3 is running the business. What does the team bring to you that they could decide themselves if they knew exactly how? Whichever line is most jammed, that's where you start. And you don't try to fix all 3 at once, because that's how founders end up doing nothing. You take the single most repetitive thing on that one line and you get it out your head. Write down how you do it and turn it into a standard that your team can follow, and hand that one thing over. And it may not even be to your team, it could be to an AI skill or AI agent. But that's the whole move. One line, one task out of your head and into the business, and then move on to the next line. Now, let me show you what this looks like when it works. I've been working with an amazing cybersecurity consultant, Brian. He worked for a big four. He's super sharp in numbers. He's the kind of operator that clients trust on site. And when we started working together, and he said this in a testimonial, he would have said that he was running a consultancy. And he'll now say that he was really running a contracting vehicle with his name on it. Everything ran through him. He was doing 50, 60 hours plus per week. And we worked the switchboard. He blocked off every Friday to work on the business instead of in it. He got the repeatable work out of his head. He brought in a VA to hold the things that didn't need him. And inside in a year, he stopped describing himself as the consultant and started describing himself as the CEO of a consultancy. He had a multi £10,000 sales day, something he'd never had before, and a pipeline that didn't depend on him remembering to chase it. And he's now disappointed if he works beyond 45 hours. So this is what it looks like day to day. A founder is the only one who can scope a job. So every proposal waits on them. 5 quotes sits in a queue for a week because one person who can price them is in delivery all day. The work is there. The growth isn't, because it all has to pass through one person. You are the bottleneck. A lot of founders try to solve this by hiring more and then wondering why they feel busier. The version that works is the boring one. Get the knowledge out of your head first, so the person you hire has something to actually work on when they start, and you're not just having to sit beside them and train them. Because the hire only buys you back time if there's that system waiting for them. And if you're sitting there thinking about that time by the pool and the phone, the proposal that you had to price from your sun lounger, then you already know which line is jammed. That recognition is the most useful thing that you might feel today. And 2 things to watch out for as you do this. The first is hiring before you've codified anything. So if the knowledge is still only in your head, a new hire just brings you into a full-time trainer and proofreader type role, and you've added cost and time to your day without removing yourself. So get one thing written down and working first, and then hire somebody into it. The second is confusing delegation with removal. Handing someone a task without the standards that you'd use to execute on that task means it's just going to bounce straight back to you the first time that it gets difficult, and then you end up doing it twice. So removal means the decision rule leaves your head too, so that whoever is executing on that task can handle the wobbles that are going to crop up without having to come back to you. If you want to know exactly what your next move is, I built a 3-minute diagnostic that looks at where your business is right now and tells you the one growth path to focus on. There's 11 questions, and it'll show you whether your priority is the founder dependence piece that we talked about today or something else entirely. The link is in the description. Here's the one thing I want you to hold on to. A business that lives only in your head can only ever grow as far as your head has capacity to carry it. So the only work that actually changes your life here is getting it out of your head and building it so that it can carry itself, or somebody else can carry it for you. Start with one line and start this week.